Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this show anywhere else but within our private community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, be sure to come join us. We just passed 6,186 members, but who's counting, right? But if you're not a member yet, we definitely love to have you. That community was put together specifically for coaches, consultants, service providers who want to be a part of a support community where they could get the advice, get the feedback they need to help them build the business and take it up to that six, that seven-figure level. So with that, I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community, Rebecca Ship. Hey,
Hey
Rebecca, welcome
guys.
to the show.
Thank you, Extus. I really appreciate it. I'm so excited.
Awesome. You're welcome. So tell us a bit about what you do.
Yeah, actually, I am a life and business coach. I help other business owners or other people who have been thinking about becoming a business owner get their business up and running in the virtual space online, doing online business. So
Mhm.
I help them strategize, create a plan, and get it up and running. Actually have them get their clients in the door.
Yeah,
It's been a
love
lot of
it.
fun.
Yeah, awesome. And in terms of what's your backstory? What did you do before you started this?
Yeah, Exodus, it's kind of crazy. So I've been in the corporate world for over 22 years, and that's all I knew. This is what I say. The only things that I really knew was how to be a mom and how to be a corporate worker bee. Those are the two things that I identified with. Well, my daughter, I had her when I was really young, so I was 19. And I grew up from a poor background, so I had to work really hard and diligent to get to the life I really wanted. And so I made it happen, even though it was pretty difficult there for a while. But then as I started seeing my career really blossom and I went really far with that and pretty much crushed it on that level, which was great. I still knew that I wanted to do something bigger and better. I knew I had something to give to the world. And now that my daughter is all grown up, I had taken the last decade, really, I was a health and fitness coach there for a while, just on the side. And for the past decade, I've kind of dabbled, in coaching and helping other people, especially in the health and fitness industry. But I wanted to do something different this time. And I knew that I had all these amazing skills. I'm really great with computers and marketing and all this great stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go out and see if people really need help with this. And it turns out that they do.
Hmm.
So I said, my daughter's all grown up. She's good. I'm going to take this time to build up my business full time and be able to create such a freedom around it that I'm going to be able to take the next 4 years and travel the world. So I'm going to travel the world. I leave in a couple of months to go to Scotland as my first stop. And I'm taking my clients with me. I mean, the digital age is here for us to tap into, right? And make work for us. So why not? And now I get to help other people do the same thing. How cool is that?
That sounds really, really exciting. Goodness. And you said you're going to Scotland?
Yeah, Scotland, Edinburgh.
Oh man, you're gonna have some fun back there.
I can't wait. I can't
Yeah.
wait.
And that's what you just shared here, which is that's the beautiful part about building an online coaching and consulting business where you could take your clients with you. And that's always been my dream, right? So right before I started
Yes.
my business, I spent 8 years as a US Marine. And the entire 8 years, typically most people, they get stationed in the US, they might do an enlistment here, 4 years here,
Yeah.
then 4 years overseas. But my entire enlistment was overseas. So I
Oh,
was in Abu
wow.
Dhabi, Korea, Okinawa, Thailand, all these different places. And when I got out, I realized like, man, I got to do something to where I could still be able to just live life on my terms, which is to just be able to travel whenever I want to and be able to take my business with me. And coaching and
Yes.
consulting
I
definitely
love it.
does that. And you seem to have cracked that code because again, moving to Scotland,
I know.
sounds exciting.
Yeah, people kind of think I'm crazy to jump up and move into another country, but I did my research. I know there are tons of people who've done it before, and I
Hmm.
said, hey, if they can do it, I can do it too.
Why not? Why not? Right. So what kind of job did you do as back in corporate?
Yeah, I was in engineering design. So
Hmm.
basically, I designed just about everything, um, airports, bridges, roads, buildings. I worked for aerospace and defense. I did like NASA jobs. I worked for the military, did military projects for the Air Force Base and Army bases back in Texas. I've been everywhere and done just about everything.
Engineering design. That's fascinating. Now, what got you interested in that field?
Yeah, actually, my daughter, because when I was 19, I had not graduated high school and was like a few credits shy. And I said, "Oh God, I'm having a baby. I better do something quick to make sure I set her up for success, right?" So I decided to. I said, "Okay, what's the fastest thing I can get into to make money right away?" And then, of course, in the late 90s was computers. And I think computers is always going to be one of the main things. And I said, "Okay, I have some drawing talent. I could become a CAD, a CAD expert, a CAD technician." And so I went to college. I went to night school first to get those last 2 credits that I needed. And then I had my daughter, and I remember bringing her into my course, one of my classes in college, in her little carrier at 19, 20 years old. And I remember it because I was like, wow, I was laying the foundation to build a strong life for my daughter and myself. And so I went in, I did what I had to do. I graduated within, oh gosh, it was like less than 18 months because I was going full time. Actually, before I graduated, I got my very first job as a part-time CAD technician. And I have to say, Extus, I don't know what happened, but the stars were aligned. But within a year of me graduating, I doubled my income, and I moved actually to the state of North Carolina, which I live right now. But I moved all over the place. But I basically followed the money, and I completely just crushed it in my career. I kept learning as much as I could and going to the next level all the time, raising my daughter on my own and also experimenting with becoming a business owner. So I had lots of businesses on the side. I helped people with their resumes. I had a business, what was called, my very first business was in 2008, and it was called the Edge Resumes. I will never forget it because I remember my daughter and I walking around in Texas, handing out flyers, asking people, "Hey, do you guys need help? You need help with your resume? I'm here for you." It was hilarious. But it was just, it was me putting myself out there to see what would happen. And sure enough, as the years passed, I got more confident. I built up my skill set. And now I get to use my talents and gifts to help others build up theirs.
Hmm. I love that story. Goodness. You see, like I guess, have you always considered yourself an entrepreneur?
I think so. I think that I would say around that early 2000s, around 2008, when I first started my own business, someone had planted the seed in me and said, Rebecca, you could do this, instead of being, just a job, or have a job and be a worker. You could actually be your own boss. And I'm like, what?
Hmm.
And so they planted that seed in me, and it just captivated me. And I said, oh my gosh, what can I really do with this? And I experimented with just about everything, Extus. I did network marketing. I sold vitamins. I sold wine. I was on the corner. I sold cookies. I sold cookies to buy a plane ticket to go to this really expensive seminar so I could learn more about becoming an entrepreneur. Like, I was on fire for it, and
Hmm.
I couldn't shut it off. And then, so when I came out here to North Carolina once again, for my career, I thought, you know what? I did everything I set my mind to do. I accomplished everything on my list. What's next? And that's when it happened, Exodus. I actually, just at the beginning of this year, I had always known that I wanted to travel the world, and I've been into many places already. But I said, okay, Rebecca, what did my next 20 years look like? Am I going to be okay sitting at this desk in this office 20 years from now, doing the same thing? The answer, do you know what the answer was, right?
I think I could take a guess.
Absolutely not. I was not going to be happy, because the
Yeah.
thing with us humans is that, once we accomplish a goal, we're ready for the next one. We never really sit tight, for too long. And so that's what happened. I became very comfortable in my comfort, my cute little apartment and my cute little job and making my cute little money. And I said, okay, that's great. But do I really want to, is that building a legacy? Am I leaving a lot on the table? And so I wanted to tap into my true potential. And I started really listening to all the greats out there, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Lewis Howes. And I was tapping into this like higher power. And I'm like, I want some of that. And so as soon as I started doing that, I realized I had a lot more to give to the world than just, drawing on the computer all day in the engineering world.
Right.
And so that's what I did. I put in my resignation at the beginning of this year. They were all pretty shocked. And I said, guys, I'm moving to Scotland. See ya.
That is powerful stuff. I love that. I love that. And that's one thing I really noticed about you too. You're someone who kind of embraces the unknown, which is you're someone. I think that's such a critical skill for most entrepreneurs, because most individuals, I believe, who do get into entrepreneurship probably shouldn't be doing this, because they come from more of a frame of I'm trying to do this to become secure versus
Right.
security is more based on, hey, get a 9 to 5 if you want to be secure. But if you want to kind of get to a place where it's like there's a lot of uncertainty, but you have that mindset to say, hey, doesn't matter what life throws at me, I'm going to figure out a way, right?
Right. You're
Those are the
exactly right,
type of
Extus.
individuals I realize succeed, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I think that's very important. And I think that's why I love my job so much now because being able to work with individuals who are at first they're afraid to step out into the unknown, and they want to say they want to take their time. They're very timid, and they say, well, Rebecca, I've got this big goal, but I'm going to just take baby steps, right? But I'm telling you, by the time we work together, there was one individual I was working with recently. Her goal was to just take her time with it. 3 months, she said, I'll jump all in 3 months. By our third call, I had already gotten her to believe that she was ready to go and signed on her first client.
Hmm.
So it's like amazing. I think that's what the important part about being a coach is, that a lot of people need coaches to help them see what they can't see, to help them believe in themselves first, right? To build up their confidence and their courage and know that they're not alone. And that's why I love what I do, because I let them know, hey, you're not in this alone. I'm going to help you if you have any questions, and the cool thing is my 22 plus years experience working, with all these different formats, being a single mom in the corporate world as a business owner all over. I'm able to share my experiences with them and how I was able to overcome, and do I know everything? No, I'm still learning.
Hmm.
But like you said, I believe that I'm one of those individuals that I'm not going to let my failures, or I don't even call them failures, but those lessons learned along the way, I'm not going to
Yeah.
let them keep me from getting the life that I truly desire. I'm
Hmm.
kind of like truly passionate like about that, because I don't want to leave anything on the table at the end of my life. I want to say I gave it my all, that I went out in flames. I went out in fire. That's the only way to go out. Then when you start thinking of it that way, you don't have anything to fear. And I always say, no man can come against me. If God is for me, no man can come against me. When we start speaking life and speaking courage and speaking confidence into our lives, you're going to be transformed. That's how you
Exactly.
move forward in courage, right? So it's important to have those people, those kinds of people in your ear all the time. And that's why I listen to the greats, because I need that, right,
Hmm.
to keep me going.
Yeah, love it, love it. So tell me, in essence, so someone, what type of clients do you work with? Are your clients typically newer individuals who do want to get started with growing their businesses? Is that who you work with?
Yeah, so far, actually, it's a mix. It's kind of
Mhm.
almost split 50-50 right now, but I noticed that I do, the first few clients that I hired on right away had already been doing like the dabbling part. They have a strong following and they're doing a lot in their expertise, but they're not really capitalizing on it because they really didn't, first of all, stop and think that they could. And then second of all, they have this amazing skill set, but they have this opportunity there that they could be making money and helping other people, making a bigger impact. So I reach out to them and say, hey guys, you have this amazing opportunity. I could really help you, in this area. And they're like, oh my gosh, you're right. Let's do it.
Mhm.
And so I really help them identify their amazing, strong gifts and talents that they're already using, but how do we capitalize on that? How do we expand it to where you're working with a larger audience and get more people in the door and creating what I call a freedom business, a business that you enjoy doing, a business you can build freedom around and make it the way you want. You make the rules, right? So that's what I love about it. It's just opportunity. Why not just try it and see what happens? And all my clients, they understand. They see. They're like, oh right, she's right. I can do this. And
Mhm.
then the other cool thing, X, is I noticed not only am I helping them with this one particular aspect of their business, it's not just about the business. For these people I'm working with, it's about their belief in themselves, their confidence. Like it's an eternal thing that happens where now they've accomplished this goal, they're on to bigger and better things. I see them growing and blossoming and just like on fire now because they'll call me and say, oh my gosh, Rebecca, guess what I came up with? I had this amazing plan and da 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 da. So it's pretty neat to see them going above and beyond, right? The
Mhm.
initial part that we started working with. So it's really neat to see my clients become lifelong clients. It's not just about one project. Now we're working on multiple projects. So
Mhm.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's the most exciting part as well, too. Because when I first got into, well, I remember listening to one of my mentors, and he'd been doing this for like years. He's like one of the greats of the greats, but he talked about his coaching program to where he had students that had like signed up with him like 30, 40, 50 years ago, and they're like
Yes.
still showing up to every single one of his events and still in his masterminds, all these different things. Like, how does that even work? Like, what? But then as I started experiencing it, as I grew my own business, because the model I came in on the first was I literally just thought, okay, you get a client, either you sell them a coaching program or something, then the 3 months or the year, the whatever amount of time they sign off to you, that's it. And that was my model before, versus now I realize like the clients we have now, they've been with us for years, and they're almost like going to be with
Yeah.
us for like the next 20, 30 years, which is a pretty cool place to be, because now you can kind of see, it's kind of like this family where you work with someone
Yes.
and then you bring them and you could kind of see the whole transformation from going from where they're
Yeah.
struggling to making massive, massive progress and just keep growing from
I
there,
love
right?
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, you're right. And actually, it's important to surround yourself with that what they call mastermind group, right? And so
Um,
these people, they were your clients once, and now they're part of your mastermind, or they've evolved into a different part of your business or whatever. So and your lives. So it's pretty
mhm.
cool.
Yeah. Now tell me, what about skills wise? What skill would you say you've mastered over the years that's really been
Oh
a
yeah.
catalyst for your success?
Yeah, Extus, that's crazy. I found during this past year actually that I had already knew, of course, a lot of my strengths and talents being, in the engineering design world. But when I started actually stepping out full time into this business of coaching and helping other entrepreneurs, I realized I have a real gift of identifying people's superpowers. And I do it very, very quickly. I think the quickest thing that I came up with was when in less than 20 minutes, someone calls me out of the blue and says, Rebecca, I need help. I lost my job. I don't have any money and rent is about to be due. What can I do? I said, okay. We sat down and we talked it out. And I'm talking to you like Exus. This is a person I only know through social media. I don't really know her very deeply. So I asked her certain questions about her talents or gifts. What is she good at? And by the time that 20 minutes had hit, we had already established what she was good at. She was on fire about it. She knew she could get clients right away and basically start making her own money instead of relying on a job to give it to her. And then she went out and she created her own online business. It was the
Hmm.
coolest thing. And I'm telling myself, oh my gosh, Rebecca, you've got something here. There are tons of people out there who are lost, or, they have no clue on what to do or what they're good at, or even how to take that awesome idea or that awesome skill or hobby or talent and turn it into monetary value, right? And so that's, I would say, number one. Of course, I'm really good at all the techie stuff too. That definitely helps. My clients, a lot of them don't want to worry about all the techie stuff. How do you create a website? What's a domain? How do I connect and integrate all of this stuff into my funnel and my landing page and all this stuff? So I'm really good at the techie stuff too, which definitely I think separates me apart because not many are. There are not a lot of people out there, especially coaches who do what I do.
Hmm.
So it's pretty cool. It opens me up to do a lot of different things and keep it in a lot of variety.
Yeah, awesome. And next question becomes, so what about habits wise? Are there any habits that you've worked on that you realize, okay, that's one habit that's really been the catalyst for my success?
Oh yeah, absolutely. When I first started out on this journey earlier this year, I knew that I wanted to bring my best. I wanted to elevate myself to such a level that I separated myself from the masses. And I said, how can I do that? And I came upon, it's funny when you ask the universe certain questions, it'll answer you. And I came upon a book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I'm not sure if you know David Goggins, but
David
he's a
Goggins, who is
military
that?
guy, Navy SEAL. Yeah,
Never heard
he's
of that guy.
he's called the hardest man on earth, but
No,
he's a huge
no,
celebrity. But
yeah, I'm just
do
kidding.
you
I
know
know who
David?
he is. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
was about to say, oh gosh, he's amazing. Well, I read his book and I couldn't put it down. And by chapter 3, I had already committed to a 90-day program I created
Mhm.
called the One Warrior Challenge. And so basically, it was to get myself mentally fit and physically fit, to ready to take on the world and all it has to offer. Because what I told myself, the only way that I'm going to be able to help others in the world and make a huge impact is if I get myself right first. So I did. I created this challenge because I wanted to be committed and consistent. So for 90 days straight, I did not watch TV. I did not eat junk food. I did my training mentally training. I did tons of training through Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, all those guys. So getting my skill set ready, my coaching abilities ready. For that 90 days, I worked out. I did a mile run every morning. I worked out in the evening. Um, I did my vision work, what Tony Robbins calls it, your hour of power. Every morning I did that. I did my vision work, my meditation, my prayer. And every evening I said my vision again before bed. So you can only imagine, Extus, what happened over that 90 days. It was transformational. I went from going from a corporate worker B, doing my normal thing, 9 to 5, all of a sudden she retiring full time to do my business full time. And then I signed on my first few high paying clients back to back. So I made my first $2,000 a day. And then I made like over 4,000. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And I was on a roll because I had finally asked myself to step up and step into my personal power. And now that I know how to do that, guess what? I get to teach other people how to do that, how to
Yeah.
be consistent, how to create habits that win, right?
Mm-hmm. Powerful stuff. Yeah, David Goggins, he's one of those guys, man. Because when I figured that, because he's definitely an interesting guy. His philosophy, it's really awesome, and that's one of the things I realized. With that mindset, you could do anything. I believe that,
Anything.
yeah, and that's why I believe that most people and they kind of lack that willpower, that mindset, and I think it's something like because and even when I think about my own journey as well too, I think about how did I approach life before, and I really approach it from a place of when things get easier, then I'll do the thing, or when things get better, that's when I'll take the action. But then when I came across David Goggins and how his thinking was, which was like embrace the suck, right? Which is, hey, it's like, and when I think about the things he's put himself through, which is things that it's impossible for you to ever have a game plan for, right? It's like going and run like 150 miles or something. That's one of the
Yes,
places where it doesn't matter how much you read a book or how much you meditate, or what, you will never have a game plan for that. The only way you solve these problems is by saying, hey, start walking
I
and
love
stop
it.
until you
Yeah,
get there, right? And that's why,
right.
yeah, with entrepreneurship, it's one of those places where if you have that mindset as an entrepreneur, which is, hey, the things that you're going to do, you probably haven't done before, but the philosophy is like, hey, whatever it takes, doesn't matter what, there's no excuses. That's why I believe like massive success lies, right? Granted that you got to
Yes,
know what you're doing, right? Yeah,
absolutely. I love
awesome.
that, Exodus. You're exactly right. And like I said, I'm still learning. I still make mistakes just like everyone else, but I'm not going to let them keep me from my dreams. And I'm like you said, embrace the suck, embrace that uncomfortable moment, because we all know that there's greatness on the other side of it. We continue to learn and to grow, and that's the only way to do it. I always say that I compare myself to nature because we're all energy, and nature doesn't worry when it's going to get fed or taken care of, or the next rain or the next sunshine. It doesn't worry. The tree continues to grow and to reach and to stretch. It has no limits. The birds, they're still singing. They don't worry about their next worm, their next meal. And we should do the same thing when we start aligning ourselves up with who we truly are, our full potential, and tune into that frequency of vibration of abundance, and that circulation and momentum and all these amazing things that are literally lying right in front of us. So they're unseen, but they're there. When you start aligning yourself with that, possibilities will open up to you, and you don't have to worry about money and about all this other stuff. It's going to come to you naturally
Hmm.
because you've aligned yourself. And that's why I always try to think and remind myself of, because when I get caught up in a mistake, or if I get caught up in something that didn't work out the way I wanted to, I'm like, it's okay. It's going to work out in my favor in the end. I'm going to get through this uncomfortable moment, but I'm not going to get caught up in my head about it. And I'm just going to keep pushing forward.
Yeah,
Right.
awesome. Love it. So what's one thing, so because myself, right, as I go through my journey, as I either talk to more people, get more information, do more, make mistakes, all these different things, I always get like a few new insights, especially as I continue to grow my own business. So
Yep.
I was like, man, this is some really cool stuff. I wish I could just share it with someone right now, but there's no one here. So it's one of those things where you just got to meditate. Like, man, that's really good, right? So do you have any over the past few days? Have you had any type of
Oh,
breakthroughs through
Extus,
that?
that is a beautiful question. Oh my goodness, I had a huge one that I'm actually about to. I have my own podcast, I'm sure you know, but I'm about to interview someone else later on, and I like to go live all the time too and share with people my journey and everything. And this is one of the things I want to share with them today because it was such a huge insight that I learned. I noticed, and I'm pretty sure you probably noticed this too, Exodus, that the deeper that we go into becoming a better coach and in the most, at the better version of us every day, right? We're reaching and growing towards that. The deeper I dive into becoming a coach, a real coach, I noticed, because I'm looking at other coaches and I'm noticing that not all coaches are the same. this was huge because I had a coach for the beginning because I wanted to get to the next level. And she helped me understand a lot of different things. But I noticed working with other coaches, I noticed what kind of coach I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be the coach that just fixed a problem and then pushed you on, right? Like the little mama bird out of the nest. I didn't want to be the coach that just was in it for the money. There was something inside of me that was like, I don't care, about the whole social media networking and all this stuff. I mean, I do care to an extent, but it doesn't, it's not at the very core of who I am. The kind of coach I want to be is the one who goes above and beyond, who over delivers, who truly listens. There's something, a deeper connection there. And I think that's really what, and again, that separates me from a lot of other coaches out there. They'll say, hey, join my course and you're going to get this out of your life. And you're like, oh, great, yay. But really, truly, I've noticed that the one-on-one connections that I have, that literally picking up the phone, getting on the phone with someone face to face, like you and I, that's where the true connection and the true transformation happens. I love courses. I'm all for them. I've taken them. I run them. But if you really, in my opinion, want to see momentum build and like true transformation, get in front of somebody, like literally pick up the phone, call them, talk to them, coach them, be there for them, listen to them. And that was my insight. It's so working and seeing how all these other coaches are working and operating. I mean, that's great for them, but that's not who I want to be.
Yeah, yeah, as well. So I definitely believe that because my philosophy as well too. I'm definitely I think for myself that I'm the type of coach. I love David Goggins, right? So he's one that when I think about my clients, that's exactly the mindset I want them to. Because that's like my secret vision, right? Which is to find a group of individuals with that mindset that David Goggins has. Find a few of them, and then let's all kind of work together and see what we could do because I know that
I love
that's
it.
what greatness is because the techniques, the strategies, these things are always there. But that mindset that this guy has, it does one of two things, right? It either scares the hell out of people or it excites them, right? And I love when you tell someone more about that and they're like, well, is that safe? Like, can't you die? And like all these different things. I love that because that does tell me, okay, that's not my type of person, but someone who just says, hey man, like I've been looking for this and I want to embrace it. I want to be that. I'm like, man, you bring 3, 5, 10 of these guys in a room, they're gonna dominate everything.
Your mastermind group, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the power of the mastermind group of individuals of all
exactly.
higher powered frequency working towards, the same goal. It's powerful.
Yeah. So I love that, and I love what you just shared, which is again actually talking with people because an issue I ran into as I was building my programs as well too is that my groups got so big that it became very hard to have an actual connection with people. It was
Yeah,
always on a one-sided conversation. So what I try to do with my programs now is just reorganize so we have smaller groups to where with my groups I get a chance to talk to every single person on an
that's good.
individual um, level versus it's being like, hey, just one-sided presentation.
Yeah.
I find people, they number one, they stick around, they feel like they're supported a lot more. And number two, they actually feel like, okay, this person, I really have the support versus, hey, just show up for the coaching call and just follow the process, right? It's an actual,
Yeah, yeah.
let's figure this out because we know not everything works always, but if it's not working, let's figure out what we need to do to actually fix your specific issue and not say, hey, just go through the process, right? Because as you and I know, the process doesn't really work for everyone all the time, right?
That's true. Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Yeah. So tell us some. I know we're running short on time here, but if someone wanted to connect, what's the best way for them to be able to reach out? And
Yeah, actually, Rebecca Ship. I have I've got the unique name there, Rebecca Ship. So if you actually Google Rebecca Ship, I'm one of the top because it's a very unique name, thank goodness. But they can just Google me, Rebecca Ship, or they can just find me on social media. My coaching services are on ufbcoach.com, but I'm always running, certain like promotions and group deals and individual deals. So it's always best just to reach out to me so I can actually customize a specific package for them
mhm.
that'll work for them. Yeah.
Awesome, perfect, awesome, guys. So yes, and if you listen to this on the live or on the replay, I'll have the links to Rebecca's stuff, contact details right below this video, so you can just click on there and connect directly with her. So with that,
Thank
Rebecca, hey,
you.
thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to be here today. I really appreciate it. And before we end, do you have any final words to share?
No, Exus, I just appreciate you reaching out to me. I love your energy. I'm so excited. I wasn't really quite sure what to expect working with you. I have seen some of your videos in the past, but I have to say being in this room with you today was definitely a privilege and an honor. I really appreciate it. I really do. And I wish you much success, continued success. I'm glad that we connected.
Awesome, Rebecca. Same here. I'm looking forward to continuing this relationship. Okay.
Thank you, Extus. Have a good one. Bye, guys.